Hello again, small world. Welcome back to Inspiratorial. This is not the food forest, it's right beside. The food forest is in here. But I wanted to make a quick video about an update on this experiment with growing in sheep's wool and mulching with sheep's wool. So for those of you who have not watched the previous video, this fall I put a load of horse manure with straw right on top of the grass. On top of that I put a lot of just compost, and on top of that I got my hands on 40 fleeces of sheep's wool that I put on top of the compost. Supposedly the sheep's wool contains around 10% nitrogen, so when it decomposes, it will release nitrogen and lots of other nutrients for the plants. But as long as it's just sitting on top, it'll keep the soil warmer in winter and cooler in summer, and also keep the moisture in the soil. And as you can see now, I've planted all of this with Hokkaidos and butternut squash and some edible flowers and lots of different kinds of kale and purple brassicas, and then I've also got one thing here that I'd like to show you. This is a plant collaboration that I really find very useful. It's one of the oldest, I think one of the oldest plant collaborations that I know of. It's squash and corn and runner beans. And they work together in the way that you can see the squash plants, they spread out really quickly and they cover the soil, so they keep it cool and moist. And the corn, of course, is producing corn, but it's also acting as a trellis for the runner beans. And the runner beans are producing beans, but also nitrogen for the whole system. So I think you can see that plants are looking quite happy here, and we've had a very, very dry spring, and I didn't water other than I just put a little bit of water when I planted. So the plants have been able to find moisture in the soil, and it actually feels cool and a little bit moist when I touch it underneath the wool. So I'm thinking this is quite interesting, and I haven't really come across any problems yet. So we shall see how it goes. And another thing is that none of these plants have been touched by deer, which would otherwise be a problem because this area is not fenced in and we have a lot of deer. So they don't like the wool either. Or I love the wool, but they don't like the wool. And maybe we'll have a visit to this later in the year when we can harvest some of the crops. But as it is now, I think it's looking really good and I'm pleased with it. So as you can see, no grass is coming up through the mulch. So actually it's quite efficient. Yeah, let's come back some other time. Thanks for joining us. Bye.